Welcome to Essential Shorts, where we take a look at the world of student ministry one topic at a time. Today's topic jumps right to the core of what we do, adolescence. Now, often I hear the word adolescent misused or freely substituted with adolescent. So for the sake of sounding like we know what we're talking about, let's begin with a short clarification between the two. An adolescent refers to a non-child, not yet adult individual. It's referring to the individual person who is identifiable by age, behavior, and maturity level. Now, adolescence, on the other hand, refers to the stage of developmental maturation between childhood and adulthood. Of course, it's not rocket science to note that all children will journey through several developmental stages on their road to adulthood, but many times this journey is segmented in easily identifiable stages. Other times, it's not so clear-cut and simple. Now, developmental psychologists tell us that these stages often look more like steps that must be completed before continuing the journey. Although there are exceptions, most students will contend with 4 or 5 identifiable growth stages while observing, learning, and modeling certain behaviors. Let me list these 4 basic stages for you. Infancy, first is birth to age 2. Second is early childhood, ages 3 to about 8. Later childhood, ages about 9 to 12. And adolescence, ages about 13 to 18. Now, sometimes there's a more distinct stage between later childhood and adolescent called pre-adolescent, age 13, 14. But most, their basic 4 stages are separated and distinct. In the U.S. and in almost all the countries with a teen culture, anyone 18 years old and up is considered an adult legally and culturally. Now, sometimes individuals get stalled and try to prolong their adolescence. We call this stall moratorium. While this maturity freeze is sad to observe, it'll likely remedy itself sooner or later. The challenge most youth ministers face is that when those in the maturation journey try to achieve adulthood too quickly, it seems like everyone, even teachers, coaches, those trained in youth ministry, have difficulty sometimes relating to and understanding today's students. Some simply give up and give in by simply doing and saying the same things that maybe their parents did or what they've heard said. Caution, those were different times. You can begin to understand and relate to this age group much more effectively if you remind yourself where this group of people are in their overall growth sequence. Remember, these teens fall right next to the adult stage, the last step before being an adult. Now, this sounds simple, but often we adults forget that even though they may look like, dress like, and talk like adults, at least when they want to, that they're not yet adults. During this pre-adult stage, teens are trying to determine their future. Am I going to college? If so, where? What vocation do I want to choose? Will I have a family? Will I get married? Will I be rich? Will I be poor? What tragedies will I face? The point is that one of the first major steps towards healthy independence for teens is that they must start making some of their own decisions. Now, this seems very simple, but there must be a gradual separation and a restraint from rescuing and deciding for a student when something big is at stake. Of course, if these decisions and lessons could be learned with the same influence but without painful consequences, all parents would opt for that. We don't want to see our kids in pain, but it's necessary for healthy development. To do this, they must put a little distance between themselves and their parents. Now, this does not mean that you can't continue to look after them, mentor them, give them spiritual guidance. You should, as much as possible, let them learn from the results of their actions. Let's say a youth no longer wants to go to youth group because everybody is in middle school, or I don't get anything out of it, or none of my friends go. As a student pastor, you want to help parents know that this is not a good example of giving them space. Now, a student may miss youth group occasionally due to conflicts with the youth group, but the vast majority of the time, they need to be connected to their youth group every week. Not monthly, but weekly. You want to remind parents that a day may come when they will need the support group called youth ministry, and then it's too late to slap it all together and it be adequate. Help your adult leaders and parents understand this connection should be non-optional, non-negotiable. Let these space decisions be in the area of savings, spending, sports, clubs, leisure, and even curfew for those who demonstrate a responsible track record, but not youth group participation. Remember, adolescents also need to be around other adults, both male and female. Don't build too much of your relational ministry around college-age volunteer staff. Don't get me wrong, I'm an outspoken advocate about intern ministries and have enjoyed many as 14 interns at a time with free housing and nonstop ministry hours. But students still need older adults in their support system and on their faith journey. Especially in today's disconnected culture, don't accidentally negate the important influence of grandparents, relatives, neighbors, coaches, teachers integrated into your ministry. Of course, these adults should be positive role models, and students observe their communication skills, conflict management skills, friendships, spousal interaction, responsibility, family systems, or even ideas for future jobs. I like helping students and parents adopt a productive type of thinking, working, prioritizing, and living by using an old adage called, "What do I need to do before I do what I want to do?" As you're thinking about adolescence and adolescent development journey and those who you serve, remember that what you do is vitally important in kingdom service. Hey, thanks for watching this segment of Essential Shorts. And if I can serve your ministry in any way, please don't hesitate to contact me. Or if you have a question or a problem in another area of student ministry, I'd be glad to help. Drop me a note and let me share your success story with others. And remember that what you do is vitally important in kingdom work.